Welcome to the UNCGD Podcast. This is episode 6, where we talk about all things mindset, motivation, and becoming the version of yourself that you truly want to become. Now, this is a really exciting episode, as I have someone special for you that I've been wanting to get on since the beginning. Now, it is Matt. Here he is. No, it's just this camera.
Look at whichever one.
Yeah.
Hello.
Now, I've been training Matt for, is it 8 months now?
I believe it's 8 months. I was going to get a fact check on that before I came. So it's a lot of messages to go through.
Could be a lie, but we're not sure yet. We're going to find out.
Yeah, we'll find it out.
Now, obviously, I know your story. I've been training you for long enough now to hear it all.
Yeah.
All the darkness, all the deep secrets.
You hear my absolute chaotic rants.
That's it, every session.
You're welcome.
Now, I know it, but can you help others who are listening and watching this get some insight into what your experience was like prior to making the changes that you have so far? Just to help give some people some context to what we're going to talk about. And I'd love to hear it in your words, and I'm sure they would too. So, yeah, give it to us.
Well, I mean, it's massive, first of all. I mean, a year ago, actually probably a little over a year ago, I definitely wasn't the person I am today. I can tell you that. Obviously, as you know, I moved down here from New South Wales. Just pretty stagnant, back home, and for me, I had a lot of goals. I wanted to kick essentially, but always kind of lacked that initiative and that first step into kind of getting the ball rolling with reaching them goals. And thankfully, thankful that I have a great sister like Emily. Shout out to Emily. Of her kind of, and Blake as well. You're amazing. Of them opening up their space into let me move down here, and within me mentioning to Emily that I want to move down here, 5 weeks after the conversation happened, I moved down here, and I think it was about 4 months into the move down here. I met you, and pretty much it was just all those goals that I always spoke about kind of started going as soon as I moved down here, because that's what I kind of set my sights on, and kind of having good people around such as yourself. That's 3 great shout outs.
Thank you, sir.
It's just it's big. I feel like a completely different person mentally and physically. Obviously, you and I talk about this all the time. We literally discussed it 15 minutes ago.
We literally just trained before this. Well, he did. I didn't. I was too busy screaming at him.
My arms and shoulders left chat. They ain't here. But I think just it feels good, kind of getting everything going. Which it's for people who struggle with getting going, like myself, like I had prior. It's it's freeing. Really, it's really, really freeing.
Yeah. Well, apart from all of that stuff, the biggest things I want to touch on today are the key things that you have found to have helped the habits that you had prior. And obviously you'll elaborate on those habits, and what you've gone through to make those changes to where you are today, because you're literally night and day from like when I first met you for the conversations we've been having, which is why I've got you here as the first person to get on this podcast.
Which feels very, very weird.
Yeah. Hey, it's weird for me. I'm interviewing someone. I've never done this before. So
did I think I'd get here? No.
In this room where there's a deer head on the wall.
Another deer
There's
head.
a deer over there. You can't see it.
There's also a car over here.
And there's a Harley over here, which
right
I'll pan so you can see both of those.
Jamie, bring it up.
Jamie, bring this up. So give us let's start with the bad habits you learned to recognize in the beginning, like what they were, any vices that you had that kept you at bay that were out of control, and you can elaborate.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, tell us about those habits.
Oh shit. We're going deep.
Yeah,
We're
straight
going,
up.
All
straight
right.
up.
So, a few people, know obviously you, Blake and Emily. I'm only 26, going on 27, and yeah, probably about like over a year ago now, probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, got diagnosed with alcoholism. I found that out trying to completely go cold turkey from chronic drinking from 6-7 years. And with that came a lot of toxic mindset of just woe is me, like the victim card, like that was it has to be all eyes on me, like no one else can kind of have an issue, which is just so funny to say out loud, because I'm just like that's gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just a lot of bad habits, and it's ruined a lot of relationships for me, both partners or just friendships or whatever. And it came with that as like there was no accountability for my actions. Like the biggest vice of just issues was just drinking's there, drinking's cool, drinking's fun, which yes, it is in moderation.
Mm-hmm. Like anything.
But yeah, obviously, there was some hurdles in life that, that I had faced, and, with that came, me being an alcoholic, and like, it was bad. Like, it was like every day, like, was just drinking. Like, gone from living out of home to living back at home, and, living back out of home again, and, moving multiple places, and just being in a spot where consciously I was always telling myself that, like, this isn't me. I hate this version of myself. But then that ego will kind of push that side down and be like, yeah, but this is great.
Alcohol's there.
Alcohol's there. Like, you can just work and do fucking nothing, just destroy your body. And, yeah, I mean, and I think, just when I tried to go cold turkey, this kind of touching on my alcoholism, and then I guess it's going more into everything else. So kind of, giving a little bit more of my backstory, because that's what narcissists do. That's a joke, everyone. But yeah, when I went completely cold turkey within 24 hours was just
brutal,
horrible. It was just I remember at work, and I started getting like really, really overwhelmed, and I was doing nothing. Well, I was doing stuff, I was at work, but like I was like doing nothing to kind of aggravate that feeling, and I started getting cold sweats, and I started feeling mad shaky, and I just was just so overrun with just emotion, and even someone just saying hello to me, I was just like, no, not doing it. This ain't cool.
Yeah.
And, obviously, with just even leaking into the relationships, it just, came, lying and just everything, because, my life wasn't my life. My life was that stuff in a can, that alcohol stuff. I do still drink in moderation, obviously, like, but yeah, that was just like the biggest vice grip of my life was just that. And yeah, I mean, there's no real like sob story with it. It's just I had hurdles in life, and that's what I chose as my vice. Do not recommend it at all. I mean, like a lot of things, people can have, would have their recommendations of shit not to do, but yeah, it was crazy, and kind of trying to break break away from that was, you think it's easy just to go cold turkey and go through the motions. Some people can do it. Kudos to them. Some people can't. I was definitely one of them people who could not. Because then what do you replace it with,
100%.
And, starting here, obviously, having the conversations with you and mental coaching and obviously, the physical stuff as well.
Which we'll get into.
Yeah. It's just, the mental shift that I've had from, being, that guy who was just, woe is me, I'm the victim, just this completely toxic mindset, and putting it out into relationships that, I think of, and I'm just like, I can't believe that was me. And I am forever sorry for that, but, for myself, I'm not sorry, because looking back at that is just like a wake-up call of being like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be that guy, or do you want to be the actual person that you want to be? And, just kind of, breaking that mold and being around people who motivate you even when they're not around you. It's just, completely different life.
It's kind of so crazy to think back and hear those stories to where you are now. And by the way, just for the record, Matt's he may admit this through the narcissism. No, I'm joking.
This is all about me.
Sure, I got to speak really quick. No.
Yeah, actually, hold on. I've got to say something. Anyway.
No, wait. I got a better thing to say.
No, but wait, I've got this.
Matt's very intelligent. We have amazing conversations that go deep into big questions, and your knowledge on some of these things are great. So it's crazy to hear the worst that you have experienced in your life with these habits and these vices. And obviously I empathize because my version was the drugs as the escape, as alcohol was the escape for you, and trying to look for kind of that limbo to be in, and you chose alcohol, I chose drugs. Mm-hmm. I also tried to cut cold turkey, as I explained before, and it is very challenging.
It is not fun.
Did you find as well when you did that, or let's say beyond that, because did you caved after that, or did you push through that? Did you when you quit cold turkey and you had that experience at work?
I think I went 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, and because I remember I had it at work, and I went and spoke to my general manager, operations manager at the time, who to this day I still have the utmost respect for that man, because he stuck his neck out so much for me, and he understood what was going on, and he was kind of not necessarily babying me, but helping me every step of the way to being are you getting what you want? Is there anything else that we can do? Which, biggest respect to Dave. I'm not going to give a full name, but it was 2 weeks. And then after that 2 weeks, I kind of just thought, I dipped my toe in that pool again, and let's just try moderation. Mm-hmm. And, that worked for a little bit, and then I fell back into the habit.
Yeah.
Because, your body's just it's when it introduces, or when it gets introduced, your body gets introduced into things, it just kind of wants it more and more. Mm-hmm. It's with snacks or just something that tastes delicious to you, or whatever it may be. It
gives you that feeling.
It's just whoa, I don't want this to stop. Well, let's do it the next day. And that's just kind of how I fell back into it. And then, I think it went for a little bit longer, and then I stopped again. And the longest I went without drinking was a month.
Okay.
And it was, I think the second time I had done. I can't remember how long like the stint was after the first time I'd gone cold turkey, but I remember the second time being a lot easier because my body had gone through the motions. There was no kind of how would I say it? It's kind of like no like attraction to it in like the sense of like it's coming off the back of something like a a trauma event or whatever. It was just like my body's just like
Give me it.
Yeah, give me it. This is what I'm used to. And yeah, I felt like after the first time I'd failed myself. Then the second time I felt like I'd done really well, and yeah, it's just falling back into it. That's when you tend to beat yourself up, and then it just ramps up because you're just like, why am I doing this? And then your body's just like, oh, just
keep coming.
Keep on coming. Please.
Plus, there's like when you got that and you start to relapse, which is the word I was looking for earlier today. When you relapse and you realize you've fallen back off, and you got like shame. Like I know that's what I really went through because there was times I threw it in the bin and I'm like, I'm done. Don't want to rule my life anymore. And then I'm like, one moment goes past and I feel a little bit down and I'm like, that's it. I'm picking it back up and I'm using again. And then so much shame, which led to more use. And that's like why these addictions are crazy in this aspect, which is why we're making this. But so yeah, that like really pulls you back in purely because of the self-sabotaging thoughts that you get from relapsing. And I'm assuming you went through some of things like that.
Yeah, pretty much it was like that. It was just like, it's kind of, you feel sorry for yourself, but you're just punishing yourself even more kind of thing. Yeah. And like I look at, I see reels on Instagram and, you read some people's stories and it's just like, they've gone completely cold turkey and like they just have not thought about doing it again. And like, kudos to them. Like 100% kudos to them. It's just, it's just nuts. It's just, them kind of, the whole kind of going cold turkey and trying not to relapse is like a longer battle than, people tend to know. That people think that it's just, they even online, like it says online that 48 hours or even the effects can happen for up to a week of just the tremors, the cold sweats and all that. And like once you get past the physical effects, the biggest battle is the mental effect. And you're craving for that, and it's just like it's a battle. And it sounds stupid saying it out loud, but like that's how it is. It's just like a battle of you being like, no, stay away. And it's like, no, come over here.
Come over here. Yep. Keep going.
Yeah. Let's go. It's and I used to live back in Newcastle. I used to live next to someone. What next? It was like the house that we had was split into two. Yeah. So we were Unit 1 and he was Unit 2, and he was an alcoholic, like really, really bad. Can't remember his name, but like ended up getting into a fight with the landlord, ripping out half the wall of the house. Like it was super easy stuff to do because, the house wasn't all that built, correctly. Like I could literally see outside through the floor in the house. Like it was pretty sick. The Mayfield crack shack is what we used to call it.
No shit.
But like this guy would, like you could hear him of a night, like you'd just get up and go have a drink, and like where our kitchen was, it was like the wall was like here. I'm painting a really bad picture of the house, but the wall was like here, and then that was practically his lounge room where it was. That fell into the back of where our kitchen was, and he would just be sitting there, not even a phone conversation or anything, and he would just be talking to himself and just like yelling. And obviously the effects of what alcohol does to your brain, it puts you in states, it blacks you out. Like people drink, get blacked out. Like I've drunk too much alcohol. It's your brain's shutting off because you just kind of slowly killing it. But this guy was just so bad, like so bad, and like to the point of where the like kind of his front lawn, which was our backyard, was just littered with like Jack Daniels, you know, the Tui's cans and everything, just alcohol bottles and shit everywhere in the drain, like wherever you could put a bottle, that man put it.
He was collecting.
He was collecting his 10 cents. That's what he was doing.
Good for today.
But yeah, it was just like seeing how bad like he got. Like he would do laps around the house and just be talking to himself, and you know it was kind of, you know, you heard through the grapevine of like, you know, this is wrong with him, this is wrong with him, and yeah, it wasn't until we had a conversation with the landlord and saying like, yeah, he's like a really bad alcoholic, and yeah, he would just drink and drive. Like he nearly ran me off the road. Like he would just walk around and murmur, just not sleep, just go to sleep drunk, wake up drunk, like, and admitting something on here, when he got kicked out, we're just like, we want to see the state of the house because, you know,
Curiosity.
Yeah, curiosity and just the living conditions of what that man was in, because he was just like drinking every day, was just horrible, absolutely horrible. And I'm just like looking at that, and that was like before I'd moved down here. Looking at that, I'm just like,
is that like a wake up call?
it is a fucking massive wake up call. But yeah, just seeing that was just, yeah, massive wake up call where it's just like, you know, I was doing this, you know, every day for 6-7 years, and you're feeding this in your brain, but it's just like you are rotting your brain, like you're rotting everything in your body just to kind of get this stupid fix.
You're probably like looking at the guy that you used to live next to. You're like, I'm heading that direction. Like if it kept getting worse, like who knows what it could have been like if you stayed on that same like kind of path. But yeah, so where I want to kind of take it now is, all right, you move down. And like you said before, there's kind of like a remnants of the aftermath. You said about the physical, you experienced that at work. And that was when you were down here, wasn't it?
Nah, that was
up there?
Yeah, that was.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, before I moved, I think at the start of the year. So.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That would have been, start of last year.
Yeah.
Maybe the end of the year prior, maybe 2022.
Yeah. So you had that experience. You're like, shit, there's a problem I need to get on top of. You moved down here, and were you still having kind of like the mental side kicking in on that, even when you were here away from that in New South Wales?
You know, not as much, because I was really distracted on what was, like, I moved down here without any, with like...
That's right, you moved cold turkey, didn't you? You literally just went, I'm going.
Literally just packed my car and moved down here, so I was very, very distracted with, with a lot of it, and, you know, it kind of just feels like a blur just because it just moved down here. It's just been absolute chaos, and, like, I've felt at times like me kind of nearly slipping back into that, and you know, and there's nothing to really like egg it on. Like at the start, it was I have to adapt to a life without having any of my mates around. Yeah. Like, you know, well, prior to knowing you, it was just Emily and Blake, and yeah, it was just a completely different way of living. Like I knew, knowing like it's even just down here is a completely different way of living. So I was a bit distracted from it, and then once I started to get, you know, a little bit more comfortable, and when, you know, I started this whole gym work stuff, and we started tackling a lot of stuff mentally, because that went off the rails really quick with you and I. Literally
first session, I was like, I heard from Emily first because I was training her and Blake, and then I'm like, oh, I can't wait to meet you, because like she gave me a brief indication of your experience. I'm like, oh, and he's going to start gym. Obviously, I'm biased to this because I know of my own experience. how much training physically doesn't just do the body, but also the mind.
Oh, yeah.
And I literally came to the jugular with you straight away.
Well, our first conversation, like, we shook hands and you just like, this is my background. Like, this is what's, how I've come. So I kind of understand, like, the whole starting out process, which made it a whole lot easier to kind of get into this, to be like, you're just not some, like, meathead. Like, it's, I'm trying to say that without, but it's just, it was like, it kind of made it a whole lot more easier because, you've kind of gone through your similar stuff, with your addictions, and, that's kind of where, I feel like I definitely wouldn't have got it in a public gym, I'll say that.
Yeah, well, you're fending for yourself in a public gym.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which can be just as hard, if not harder. Like, in the end, the biggest thing that, like, which I cherish a lot, and I've said this plenty of times, is I love the fact that you had the goal to change. Like, that's the biggest thing that I've spoken about on other episodes is you need that to be a magnet to pull you, and you had that. And that's why I was like, I'm invested. I'm like there, because I didn't have someone on my case every time I saw them, or what I've messaged you plenty of times as well. And in the end, that's why I love our interactions. And I've been able to be there assisting and watching you go through these changes.
I'll never forget, this was months ago, we had a Friday session. I think I had a day off or something. And we were just meant to do like a 45-minute session. I was here for like 2 hours or something because we finished the set and then we just spoke for like an hour. And then we looked at the time and we're just like,
shit.
I'm like, I've got to go now.
Better go home.
But yeah, it's just, it's very, very valuable.
I do feel that's why I like what I do, and being able to do this with you and recommend it to others is, like, look at that circle that you're around. You know what I mean? Like, that's massive. And those people that you're around that aren't working for you maybe right now or have worked for you, they're not necessarily bad people, but they bring something out of you in that moment of weakness.
Oh, yeah.
That gets you to just, I'm going to do that thing that I know I shouldn't do, that I'm on that slippery slope of relapsing or doing the bad habit or creating it.
Yeah.
And looking at that is massive. And that's why, like, being able to speak all the time, and, like, if I see like someone slipping like yourself, I'll direct it straight away at, like, shine a light on that, because then we can talk about it and navigate and make sure that it doesn't build into something bigger than it is, which is what the best thing about training is.
Going straight for the jugular, I'm telling you, anyone listening at home is, going for the jugular, like, just straight away. I think that has just helped, from your side, like, it just helped me in so many situations where it's just been like, you don't need to be babied in that situation.
No.
To kind of get your answer. Your answer is just sometimes you just got to go straight in for the kill, because getting babied in some circumstances
Takes a long time to get around.
Yeah, it's just kind of probably, like, they're a better term, but pussyfooting around the situation, and it's just crazy of just sometimes. Well, I know a lot of the time I used to be afraid of that conversation, but now it's just like...
Me too.
I'm like, now that's an expectation.
Dude, I literally live for that conversation. Yeah. Someone's willing to make a change in their life and they're going through shit, mate, I'm there.
Yeah.
The only time that I'm not is when I need to give you some space. Maybe you need to learn a couple more lessons because you're not listening at all.
Oh, yeah.
Which I've been there. You've probably been there with other people. And... like, then you come back in their life and maybe they're at that point then. And these conversations are key, like, far out. Like I've said in other times, like, Britt, my partner, was that for me. And I hated her for it so much at the time. Love her so much now. But at the time I was like, don't you tell me how fucked up I am right now.
Yeah.
How dare you? I'm living my best life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's seeing how you've changed even the conversation and mentally and physically, and getting like the interest into psychology as well is like, I love it so fucking much because it leads into other areas of self-improvement. Now to kind of go off of that as well, when it comes to the mind, help me in sharing the experience you've had when it comes to training and the mind, because I know this is like everything I do, a unify mindset and physical training, and I bridge that as hard as possible in the sets, especially when you're about to do something hard. So
At the start, I definitely know that any issue that I'd bring up, you'd tell me to channel that into my set as like, lighting the fire of like, going to kick some ass in the gym.
Yeah.
And like that, that has worked. And, sometimes it's a little bit beyond that. That fire is just you just pushing your own limits without that motivation.
Yeah.
Like, at the start, as I said, like I'm a year into this move, and the issues that I had then, and my mindset of how I am now. If I need to rev up, it's no longer an issue that I caused that I blame someone else for. It's that person I was, 8 months to a year ago of being like, that's my fire. I don't want to be that guy. I hate that guy. That guy sucks. And I always just like think in my head of just like, I'm always super sorry on, how I've acted towards people like then. And I know like for a lot of people that's going to be like their last outlook of me. But for now, like, well, not for now, people see the difference and people are just like,
what the heck?
Like mentally, it's just like, you've done like so well. And it's just like, people gas you up. It's pretty cool. Feeds the ego, doesn't it? Everyone loves it.
Yeah, don't lie.
But still, like in doing that, like, with how you were coaching me mentally of being like, don't kind of, if you want to, make those goals physically yourself, like turn yourself a lot better physically, that's probably a better way to put it. Probably just minced my words there, but anyway. If you want to better yourself physically, there we go, I got there. It's just like those, that fire of like whatever you have, like that problem out there is, going to be dealt with. But it's just like use that fire to make yourself better, like physically or mentally, like figure it out. And I feel like, just mentally, I definitely know doing some weights that, that I've thought I could never do before. I can name it deadlift of like, I had that heat, that fire from whatever the issue was, fuel me. But I'm just like, that always can't be. I can't come into the gym angry because then, that's not it. And it's just, instead of focusing on necessarily like the negative things outside of life, outside in life, because, it's not worth your drama at all. It's just like, all right, cool. Like, that is what it is. The problem's either going to be there or it's not. Just, just, it's not a single worry. It's just, it is what it is. And it's like, are you going to sink to that level and be negative? And then, because that can translate into here of just being like, I can't do it.
Yep.
I'm not going to be able to do it. I can't. I won't. I will never.
And then it reverberates back into life.
Yeah. And then that's what you give out.
100%.
And, it's funny saying this at 26 years old, but it's taken the gym for me to just be like, to realize that all that negative shit that is, around in me is a lot of also what I'm putting out into the world, because my habits, and my feelings I'm now putting on to other people. And coming here, I guarantee you that if I was doing that shit, you would have kicked me out.
Damn straight.
wouldn't even have lasted a week.
Wouldn't have lasted. No.
And yeah, I just feel like that's like the kind of mental shift that the gym has given me is like I'm going to admit now, this is the honesty corner, the honesty table. I always thought that going to the gym for your mental health was bullshit.
Yeah.
That I'm like,
how does that work?
It's lifting weights. It's fucking doing nothing, mate. It's fucking nothing. I got humbled real quick.
You literally get on the leg press and it takes everything to finish a set.
Oh, it's taken my soul 10 times over, I tell you that. But yeah, like, I think just, yeah, you can try and explain like the feelings and emotions that, lifting gives you. But I encourage everyone, stares into the camera. I encourage everyone, just like, seriously, just like, give it a go. And don't just look at it from a physical aspect of like, you can't do it, because you're only going to get stronger. Like, it's like, even now, I just don't even know how to like rev it up anymore. I've just been like, it's honestly been like the best change. I'm happy with, I'll go to work, I play my games, I'll talk to my mates, go out every now and again, like, cool, like, that's always going to be there. You can change that, but like, if there's any change that people should put, into just the main consideration of their life is just physically and mentally.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's just mentally, kind of going back to the question of just, mentally, like, the gym has made me strong. Like, I've put on the weight. Like, I know I've put on the weight, but I feel a lot better than I did when I was 20 kilos lighter. But outside of, like, feeling physically great, just mentally, of how I'm just being, like, able to process a lot of situations in life and my outlook on it, because you have to have different outlooks on when you're lifting weights.
100%.
It's just...
Well, as well, with lifting weights, you are learning to become unreactive to situations, because you're going to go into a set and it's going to be really hard and you're going to feel discomfort like crazy, like I've explained. And
the uncomfortable zone.
The uncomfortable zone, and you have to be willing to use your mindset to push through that with the intention. And that reverberates into your life. So then you no longer have the reaction in a negative manner to any problem in your world that takes you back to that old vice. And that's why gym is fucking incredible for that reason.
You're constantly feeling uncomfortable, like, and mainly physically, but it's the mental strength that kind of, gets you over that line in the end. Like, obviously there is some shit that's way too heavy. Like, you're not going to put me in there and say, hey, Matt, deadlift
300.
Deadlift 300 kilos one-handed on one leg.
You just watch your spine leave your back.
Just breaks it into a million pieces like Lego. But yeah, it's just kind of accepting that uncomfortable situations are more than fine to be in.
Yeah.
Just not be scared of it. And I think that's kind of like a big takeaway of it, of just being like, just take shit head on. Because if you don't get it now, who's to say you won't get it in a week?
Yeah.
You can nail it,
Resilience. You just keep going at it.
That's kind of what the gym has taught me in a mental factor. And I mean, also yourself, you've taught me a lot from your findings, which has also kind of motivated me as well to kind of go out on my own and read the books and listen to the audibles and all that stuff. Like,
bit of the self-search.
I mean, hell, I wouldn't even do this.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, no shit.
the digital footprint.
That's right. Piece of me is out there now. Yeah, man. I think it's valuable for people to hear that. And in the end, it's what I think, like, someone right now might be struggling with that old issue. And not only the gym thing, obviously the gym thing is a massive tool, like you've recommended to everybody, but it's to learn to to look at it and go, is this really what you want? Or are you going to settle and just the woe is me, like you said? Or are you going to feel what you know is inside as the real you that you prefer and chase that? Because like anything, the beginning is the hardest. And as soon as you start that path, you will face hardship.
100%.
But you got to break through that little threshold in the beginning, so you can get to that ground where you're soaring, and you felt that now. That's what's fucking awesome, and I love sharing this purely for that reason, because I can't talk about myself forever. In the end, it's the same.
I'll
stuff.
just keep talking about myself.
Hang on, you be quiet. Be really quiet
that's
just
what
for a second.
Shut up! I need to say something. Right? I forgot to say something. But yeah, it's just crazy because like even for yourself, like you went through, your bodybuilding competitions and everything. So I guarantee that the mental shifts the multiple mental shifts that you would have had at that level to kind of this level, they would have varied.
100%. If there was aspects back then that was really good, but it was also out of control in the obsession aspect, and maybe you need that at a high level to achieve a certain result, but that kind of spilled over and ran rampant where I lacked consideration for a lot of things. But the mindset I've got today is I look at the whole of bettering myself so I could better everything and everyone around me. So I want everyone to try and chase their best version, and that's been my whole intention with everything that I do, which is sharing this as well. Because I've, like you said, gone through my own experience and now getting to hear yours and everyone else gets to hear it. It's the same thing. You're on your path still and like you're going to be forever. And in the end, you're navigating, but you're on the path. You've started it. And now you're setting new goals and trying to figure out the next obstacle to overcome. And that's what it's about. You don't just get there. Like I said earlier in the sesh, there's keys to that.
100%. And I think that like a main thing that would deter people and also deterred myself, in kind of just getting going was, you look, at the one goal that you want to hit, but then, you kind of click that drop down bar and, there's 10 things that you gotta do and you just like,
fuck.
No, I don't need to do that. Like, and even like the mental shift of just being like, oh, this is going to take me 10 hours to do it, instead of like, now I'll just be like, okay, this is only going to take me 10 hours to do to get to this. So
perspective.
And that's, and for some people, if, they don't want to do it, like that's fair, but it's just like, it's just, perspective as well in life has just changed a lot through the gym. Like everyone has to do shit stuff, like whatever, just like,
of course,
get it over and done with. Like,
get it done. It's the 1%ers, and in the end, like you're gonna get there anyway, as long as you don't quit, which you haven't. You just stayed on the path, and you're still building, as I am as well. And that's the magic of it all.
It's great. It's good
man.
Stuff.
Yeah, man. Oh man, this has been good.
It's been good.
Yeah, man.
And just for anyone else, we're gonna give them a little shout out to anyone else who stagnant and they know they should, they know they should be doing whatever they're thinking about right now. Just do it. Nike, just do it. That could be our sponsor. Just kidding. I'm not wearing anything Nike.
I'm going to be decked out in Nike soon.
But like it's just, kind of, sorry for my cussing again, but it's like, fuck those, outside critics. Like, they're not, in your life.
Their opinions don't matter.
They're spending their life worrying about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, let them do that. Then you just worry about what you're doing and just keep fucking kicking goals no matter what it is. Like, the first step is always the hardest. And, once you just make that first step, the paddock gate's open. Go for a fucking run.
Damn straight.
It's just...
The highway's open.
It's so easy just to say, like, go and do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I could keep going on for fucking hours.
As long as you know that start point is the hard point, get through that, and then you got open road.
Yeah.
And you'll learn through the lessons of getting through the hard point in the beginning. They're your skills now to navigate all the other problems. Because obstacles are guaranteed regardless, especially when you challenge yourself, whether it be goals in life, success, whatever it is for you. It's the same shit. You just got to use that same mentality to push through any obstacle, and don't procrastinate.
Yeah, don't say like I can't or I don't have the capabilities. You do have the capabilities and you can do that shit. You're the only person telling yourself that you can't do it.
Fuck yeah.
So why are you holding yourself back from whatever full potential it is? It doesn't matter if it's minor or major. It doesn't really matter. It's all just kind of, it's freeing. Like, and I said this to Emily. Like, probably one of the biggest freeing moments of my life that I'd ever accomplish doing. And this kind of makes me sound like a bit of a loner. But who gives a shit? But it's like, just take yourself out to eat somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Sit with yourself.
In a crowd full of people. It's cool. Mm-hmm. Talk with someone. Don't talk with someone. It doesn't really matter. But me doing that was like the best thing I've ever done, because that just took so much weight off my shoulders, because I'm just like, oh, why should I do that? That's awkward or whatever. And I didn't give a fuck if people were just like, this guy's a loner. You know what? I don't have to worry about your ass being up in my grill. I'm just out here just enjoying my meal.
My chicken snitty.
I'm just my dino nuggies and tomato sauce and my beer. No. But yeah, like, and that's like another thing as well, is just don't be afraid to do shit for yourself, because, you know, at the end of the day, no one else is going to, force you to go to study or whatever. Like, that's probably like a horrible example, because I'm now just on this tangent. The tangent train's going. But yeah, it's just, people should push themselves. People should not tell themselves that they can't do something, because they can do it. Like,
you've proven it.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I've built a house with my bare hands and I keep going up. Like,
you'd probably prefer not to.
Yeah, with my carpentry expertise, I'd have a cardboard box on like a bit of land, and maybe a tarp over that cardboard box.
Just a big ass hole under it.
But yeah, it's just, I've just kind of taken that veil, and I understand that it's difficult. It is difficult. Like, shit, I still struggle with some stuff today. Like, I'm not going to sit down and be like, hey, I'm God's gift, because I'm definitely not. Furthest from it. I've done some bad shit. That doesn't mean I'm a bad guy, as I said to you before.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just essentially taking that veil off and just being like, don't worry about other people's shit and just do shit for you. Like, I moved down here for myself. Yes, it was a bit of a slow start, but I wanted to go to the gym. I wanted to start looking after myself, because no one else was going to do it for me.
It's up to us.
Fuck, imagine that. Imagine waking up to this face every day.
Damn.
Good morning.
Damn,
baby. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I know, saying that, it's met with a lot of questions, or a lot of, kind of fight back of being like, oh, but, the ifs, buts, is always, going to be in there. If, buts, what's, whatever. But yeah, it's just a crazy life that I feel like I'm living, but mentally and physically. Yeah. And my life has not really changed that much, outside of me just changing states.
Yep. So you're at the beginning.
Yeah, literally at the beginning.
So you got past the shit.
Yeah.
And you're at the point where level ground has been set.
Yeah.
And the build begins.
Kind of just literally built my base point, and yeah, just kind of going from there. And anyone can do it.
I love that.
Yeah. Anyone, like, doesn't matter about, like, I've fallen on my ass many times.
Same.
And, we spoke about, like, reflection before. people have a tendency to look back at shit and just go, ugh, because I know
The cringe.
I have stuff. You definitely would have some stuff.
Damn straight.
And yeah, that stuff's okay. Like it happens. Like
Move on.
not everyone's perfect, and just better yourself.
Let's go for it.
Yeah,
We did it.
yeah, we did it. We done the thing. We spoke in front of
12 people.
12 people. Hello, 12 people. Me being one of them. Hello, Matt. Hello, future Matt.
Yeah. Can't wait for you to look back on this.
What's that, Paula? That's future Paula's problem. Hi, I'm future Paula.
Yeah, in an instant, straight away.
Hi.
Hey, I'm back. Just when you thought I was gone, I'm here again.
Do you have a message for the people? Because I know you would always have a message. I know you've done 5 other episodes.
Yeah.
But
My message.
But you actually, talking to someone, me, because everything is about me, obviously. Just kidding. But, you talking to someone about, their experience of navigating the world, would you like to touch on anything to kind of, I guess, motivate people a little bit more? Because no matter where you are
Doesn't matter.
in life, like, change is not going to happen overnight, but it can start overnight type thing. So, yeah.
Well, Matt is another example of possibility. And if you're going through something similar, there's your motivation and example to being able to do it for yourself. And you've got a couple of tools and Easter eggs in there that you can take. And something you didn't touch on a lot is that I spoke about in previous episodes is he built his awareness to be able to recognize a lot of shit. Like a lot of shit. And he's able to touch on it and go, hang on a moment, I've just caught myself in the act, like I've spoken before, and I'm going to change it because it doesn't really align with how I want to be. It doesn't align with the person I want to be. And you just heard from his A to Z, or his current Z that's going to continue anyway.
The alphabet doesn't stop.
It's straight to algebra.
It's like genders.
So pretty much you've got your examples apart from my own. Matt applies a lot that I talk about as well. And he's put it in his own way, in his own life, an example. So use this as another example for you to be able to change your own life in whatever hardship that you're going through, because it all applies the same. You have to use mental will to choose a different set of choices in your day so you can get a different outcome than you're experiencing, especially if you're not liking it right now. So take it on board. Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me.
Dude, thank you for doing this.
Thank you for listening to my ramble, because I guarantee we'll probably listen back on this. I know I'll listen back on this and be like, how do you just talk, mate? You just talk absolute nonsense. I reckon if you trim down a lot of what I said, you'll probably get like
20 minutes.
A minute and a half of good shit, because I'm just like, ifs, buts, what's the... But yeah, no,
It was gold. It was gold.
It's good. It's what you're doing here. I'm going to gas you up a little bit. Yeah, get ready.
Oh man, I'm ready.
No, but, obviously I'm thankful, for meeting you, like, because, without the changes, in my life, like, well, the changes wouldn't have happened if, you weren't there to kind of egg me on and go straight for the jugular in a lot of situations.
My favorite.
Like, and I just think that, the foundation that you've set yourself and that you continue to grow is great. I think a lot of people will benefit from it. I reckon a lot of people should take off the veil and talk about these kind of things more, because
I agree.
I mean, not going to toot my own horn, but I definitely am, of like the changes that, I've made, kind of also a lot of it comes from you just pushing me every day, not only mentally, but, physically, and, it's bettered me. And I just think that, for the 12, maybe we get one more listener, so 13.
Damn.
The 13 people that listen, it's just like, if you've got like good rapport with, your PT or whatever, just,
Open it up.
open it up, just talk to them.
Yeah.
And, they may not be, open to those kind of conversations. I know a lot of people aren't, but it's just like, there's always ways to kind of get out how you're feeling. There's multiple different avenues, but what you've done here is just opened my eyes to a lot of shit. I know it's helped Blake, and I know it's helped Emily, and I guarantee there's probably a few other people out that come here that help. So a lot of this version of me is thanks to you. So I greatly appreciate it.
I'm just grateful to be a part of it.
He's crying. I'm kidding. Yeah.
Nah, man, I appreciate it. I do. This was good. I'm glad we did it.
Obviously, I'm just grateful that you had me on here, and grateful to kind of have you on my team.
Definitely.
To kind of better me, and as I said, anyone else, it's there, it's out there. Just fucking do it.
I love it. All right. Thank you for listening. This was fun. Keen as for the next episode. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you on the next one.